The sun dipped low over the Mississippi Valley, painting the horizon red and gold. Below, shadows stretched across the earth, not from hills or trees, but from towering mounds, raised basket by countless human hands. As night fell, fires sprang up across the landscape, revealing a brilliant and impossible city. Hello, and welcome to Impactful Moments, where we explore some of the most, you guessed it, impactful moments in human history. In this video, we'll uncover the story of Cahokia, North America's first metropolis, and one of the continent's greatest mysteries. The 11th century is often remembered for seismic cultural and religious shifts across Europe and Asia. In Christian Europe, the church was undergoing transitions. The Western and Eastern churches formally split in 1054, and by century's end, the First Crusade was underway, a Western Christian effort to aid Byzantium and confront the Seljuk Turks. In the Islamic world, real power was shifting from the Abbasid caliphs to the aforementioned Seljuks, while the Fatimids ruled a rival Shia caliphate from Cairo. Further east, Song China was in a golden age, marked by innovations in printing, metallurgy, agriculture, and even paper money, leading some historians to call it an early industrial revolution. But across the Atlantic, or Pacific, depending on your perspective, human civilization was flourishing as well. In Mesoamerica and South America, the legacies of ancient societies still remain through pyramids of stone and sprawling ceremonial centers. The Norte Chico, Olmecs, Teotihuacanos, Zapotecs, and Maya had long since proven that the Americas were home to ingenuity, engineering, and urban planning that rivaled the ancient world anywhere else. To the north, across the plains, forests, and rivers of the modern United States, human life was teeming just the same. The site known as Poverty Point, a major trade center along the Mississippi River dating back to around 1500 BCE, had long served as a crossroads for early native cultures. Later societies, such as the Adena, Hopewell, Mogollon, Hohokam, Caddo, and ancestral Puebloans, left their own mark, from intricate burial mounds to cliff dwellings carved into stone. But while these societies were often seasonal or semi-nomadic, something different, something extraordinary, was rising in the heart of the continent. While humans had roamed the plains of North America for thousands of years as hunter-gatherers, it wasn't until around the 8th century CE that the first signs of something new, permanent settlements, began to be seen by archaeologists. By the 9th and 10th centuries, scattered dwellings began to take shape. Huts and houses built near fertile river valleys. But then these settlements evolved. They grew denser. Earthworks began to appear, deliberate mounds of soil, carefully constructed by hand. By the 11th century, this region was showing signs of complex urban planning. Clustered neighborhoods, public plazas, cultivated fields, and even strange circular wooden structures, quote-unquote wood henges, that may have aligned with the solstices, suggesting an early understanding of astronomy. By the dawn of the 12th century, this city, Cahokia, had exploded in scale, reaching a population somewhere between 15 and 25,000 people, with some estimates reaching as high as 40,000. To put that in perspective, Cahokia may have been larger than London at the time. Its most iconic features were its enormous earthen mounds, massive monuments built basket by basket entirely by human labor. Some are thought to have taken over 15 million trips of soil displacement to complete. At the city's center stood Monk's Mound, the largest of them all. Still standing today, its base is even larger than the Great Pyramid of Khufu in Egypt. For about a century to a century and a half, Cahokia held its status as a sprawling, if not quite, quote-unquote, metropolitan, by Old World standards, city. But by the 13th century, things began to shift, and the city started to decline. There's still some debate about the exact causes. It might have been conflict with rival tribes, but many scholars point to climatic changes. A possible mini-ice age in the central part of the continent may have shortened growing seasons and impacted crop yields. And for a city with tens of thousands of mouths to feed, a few bad harvests could have spelled disaster. Whatever the cause, the Mississippian population of Cahokia began to drop sharply, and by around 1350, the city was largely abandoned. Enjoying so far? Give us a like and subscribe. It helps more than you know and keeps this kind of content coming. Cahokia's influence didn't end with its city limits. For a time, it was reshaping how people across the region thought about power, space, and even the cosmos. One of the clearest markers of that influence was Ramey-incised pottery, intricately decorated ceramic vessels produced in Cahokia and often associated with elite or ceremonial use. Their appearance at distant sites suggests that Cahokia's cultural reach extended far beyond the city, acting almost like calling cards of a larger religious or ideological system, a system anchored in Cahokia's very layout. The city was organized around a cosmogram, a symbolic map of the universe, with cardinal alignments, quadrants, and central mounds, like Monk's Mound, acting as earthly reflections of the cosmic order. Mimics of that design began to appear in other Mississippian mound sites. Places like Aztalan in modern-day Wisconsin, Angel Mounds in Indiana, and Kincaid Mounds in southern Illinois. These weren't carbon copies, but they borrowed heavily from Cahokia's ceremonial structure and aspects of its urban planning, suggesting that Cahokia had introduced a new blueprint for Mississippian culture. Social stratification wasn't absent in the Americas prior to Cahokia, but the city elevated it to a new level. The physical layout reinforced a hierarchy, with Monk's Mound towering at the center, flanked by plazas and smaller mounds likely associated with lower tiers of leadership or religious functions. Evidence of elite status can be seen not only in Ramey-incised pottery, but in dramatic burials like Mound 72, where a single, likely high-status individual was interred alongside dozens of sacrificial victims. Cahokia's decline didn't erase its influence. Archaeological evidence from surrounding regions suggests that while the city's population dispersed, its ideas simply migrated, shaping Mississippian culture long after Cahokia's central authority faded. For centuries after its decline, Cahokia became a kind of historical phantom. The city that had once rivaled medieval London in population was largely forgotten by the wider world. They were quick to attribute them to lost civilizations, Phoenicians, or even Vikings, anything but native ingenuity. But the memory of Cahokia never fully disappeared. Oral histories and cultural practices carried forward by tribes like the Osage point to a direct lineage from the Mississippian people who once lived there. Cahokia's abandonment didn't erase its legacy, it simply added to its story, as former inhabitants laid the foundations for new societies and chiefdoms throughout the region. In the modern era, Cahokia has become not just the subject of archaeology, but a symbol of cultural resilience and scientific rediscovery. Because the Mississippians left no written language and built primarily with wood, much of their physical world has long since vanished. What remains are the great mounds, scattered artifacts, and increasingly, the hidden landscape itself. Recent technologies like LiDAR, ground-penetrating radar, and magnetometry have transformed our understanding of the site, revealing buried neighborhoods, ceremonial spaces, and long-eroded wood hinges once aligned to celestial events. These tools allow researchers to visually reconstruct the ancient city, confirming its sophistication and scale in ways early archaeologists could only guess at. Ultimately, Cahokia's most enduring legacy is how it reshapes our understanding of the past. It stands as direct evidence that large-scale urban centers, complex social hierarchies, and far-reaching cultural influence existed in North America long before European contact. Today, the Cahokia Mounds State Historic Site, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, located just minutes from St. Louis, preserves this legacy. Visitors can walk its massive earthworks, explore reconstructed ceremonial structures, and stand atop Monk's Mound, reflecting on what once stood there. It's a humbling reminder that the story of human civilization isn't confined to the old world. It was thriving right in the heart of the Mississippi Valley. I hope you enjoyed this video and found this period in history both informative and enlightening. Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below, and I hope you can join us for another video. Thanks for watching.